Hi, folks. So I promised you a full breakdown of the July 2024 full council report on vacant houses within the municipal district. So you'll remember from my video yesterday, I spoke about the fact that we are looking at 158 properties that are vacant. So I'm just going to go through the report, talk you through it, explain to you where they are kind of based on their municipal districts and towns. And then if you have any questions, obviously you can throw them in the comments or drop me a message. So I think first of all, it's really important to point out the categories of work. So you've got major and minor works, and I know a lot of people seem to think that major works mean that the place has to be completely gutted or whatever, and minor works mean that it should be a really quick turnaround time. And yeah, I suppose for all intents and purposes, it should be a much quicker turnaround time, but we do have to work within the capacity that we have as a council. Now, major works generally require quite a large tendering process. I suppose that we, as a council, they're trying to go with economies of scale in relation to bundling them together and getting them all done together. So the total number of dwellings within the council's housing stock, so that's anything from apartment to a house. So the total number of dwellings currently are 6,486, as you can see here. The vacant properties requiring major refurbishment, there's 101 of those. The vacant properties requiring minor works, there are 54. And the vacant properties that are currently awaiting allocation, so that's those that have already gone through the works process and they're ready to be allocated, are 3. Now, I know of a number of those. So this means that our total vacant housing stock, so our total stock based on our total vacancy divided by stock, is 2.44%, which is quite a low average. To be fair, I think the national average is closer to 15%. So we are doing quite well, but we can still do better as far as I'd be concerned. Now, the vacant houses that have been completed since the last report, as you can see here, there have been 5 of them, but there have been 0 in Athy. I think there's been 1 in Selbridge Leixlip, 2 in Clane Maynooth, 1 in Newbridge, and 1 in Naas. And the vacant houses added since the last report, including new housing projects. Now, as you can see here, the total vacant new housing projects added since last report are 0, so it doesn't actually include them. So this could be anything from a transfer for a property due to medical need or being victims of antisocial behaviour, or that simply an area is no longer suitable for an individual and they've been on the transfer list for quite some time, as well as that we often have older people applying for transfers to be closer to family or closer to the support networks. And as you can see, there's been 1 in Athy, 0 in Selbridge Leixlip, 0 in Clane Maynooth, 2 in the Kildare Newbridge Municipal District, and 0 in Naas, bringing that to a total of 12 that have been. That should not be 12. 1 plus 2 equals 3. And then, so here we have it broken down by MD or municipal district. So the municipal districts are Athy, Selbridge Leixlip, Clane Maynooth, Kildare Newbridge, and Naas. So our first MD that we have here in the Athy Municipal District is there are 21 requiring major works, 7 requiring minor works. Of the major, 14 of those are in Athy, 1 in Ballator, 3 in Castledermot, 1 in Castlerow, 1 in Kilmead, 1 in Narramore. And then of the minor, as you can see again, we have 5 in Athy, 1 in Narramore, and 1 in Nerney. Then we move on to our next MD, which is the Selbridge Leixlip MD, where 10 are requiring major works, 8 are requiring minor works. Of the major, 6 are in Selbridge, 4 are in Leixlip. Of the minor, 3 are in Selbridge, 5 are in Leixlip. Clane Maynooth, so you have 23 requiring major works, 13 requiring minor works, and of the major we have 3 in Carbery, 5 in Clane, 1 in Coildove, 1 in Downturn, 2 in Kilcock, 3 in Kilmeague, 1 in Maynooth, 6 in Prosperous, and 1 in Robertstown. And then of the minor, we've got 1 in Carbery, 2 in Clane, 2 in Kilcock, 2 in Maynooth, 1 in Prosperous, 1 in Rathcoffey, and 4 in Straffan. And I'm going to move on to the district that I know better than any other district, obviously, because this is where I have been elected, is the Kildare Newbridge Municipal District. And as you can see straight off from the numbers, we have 36 that are requiring major work and 15 that are requiring minor work, meaning that we have the highest number of vacant properties within the Kildare Newbridge Municipal District. But as you'll see from the breakdown in a few minutes, Newbridge actually has probably the highest number of vacant council properties in the area. Now, that's also because we do have more social housing within our area than most do. But I suppose in Newbridge, we've got, of the major works, so there's one in Cara, one in Kilcullen, one in Kildangan, 8 in Kildare Town, 3 in Monastravan, 16 in Newbridge. As I said, that's quite a large number, 3 in Rathangan and 3 in the Curragh. Of the minor works, we have 1 in Kilcullen, 1 in Monastravan, 7 in Newbridge, 1 in Rathangan, 2 in Suncroft, and 3 in the Curragh. And then moving on to the last municipal district, which is the Naas MD, we have 11 requiring major works and 11 requiring minor works, so some nice even numbers there. But of the major, there's 1 in Kill, 8 in Naas, and 2 in Sallins. Of the minor, there's 1 in Ballamore Eustace, 9 in Naas, and 1 in Sallins. So that's the report that we were given. And I suppose what's really important to point out is that there has been constraints in terms of turning around these properties. And in some circumstances, taking 51 weeks, in some circumstances, taking 6 weeks. With the major works, they do have to go through quite a large tendering process, meaning that they have to be put out to tender. More often than not, the council are trying to put them in blocks together, so that they're getting best value for money or best return on investment. And then oftentimes, allocation can actually take quite some time, because a property can be offered to one family, and then for a multitude of different reasons, including that the area might not be suitable, it may be a family who doesn't drive, and they're being offered a property in, let's say, just give me somewhere. They're being offered a property in Coildove, but their kids are actually in school in Newbridge. So if they don't drive, the public transport links from there to there aren't necessarily conducive to being able to get their kids to school on time. Or again, it could be somebody who's working in, let's say, could be somebody who's working in Naas, and they get offered that property in Rathcoffey once it's back up and running. So again, that creates an issue in terms of those individuals not necessarily being able to access their work structures, access their kids' school structures. And I know people can say, well, why don't I get a car? Well, like, I mean, listen, I've worked on minimum wage for a long time, and it's not exactly easy to maintain a car on minimum wage. But the most important thing here that we're talking about is the fact that we do actually have 158 vacant council properties throughout the county. And that's, like, it's a small number in terms of the 6,000 something properties that we have, but it's a big number in terms of the people we have that are sitting on the housing list, or the people we have that are sitting in emergency accommodation. So one of the things myself and my colleagues have been doing is we have been liaising with KCC to try and ensure that we're turning around these properties as quick as possible. There were a number of occasions where the council weren't aware they owned properties, so it was really important to highlight them with them. And I do think that if you come across a property and you're not sure whether it's council or it's privately owned, let us know, because with council, we can ensure it's on the list. With privately owned, if it's been left vacant for a long period of time, we can look at adding it to the likes of vacanthomes.ie and deal with the vacant homes officer in KCC in the hopes that that vacant property can be purchased and then used for housing in some way, shape or form. But listen, thank you very much for listening to me. I know it's a really long, drawn out report, and you're so used to me doing like 60-second videos. But I hope it was interesting. I hope it's explained some of the situations in relation to the vacant properties that we have. And if you have any further questions or anything else that you'd like to know, please just drop a message in the comments, fire me over an email, or fire me a message. Thank you. Bye.